And I don't care if we live till we're 90 years old. We may never see this again. So much still undecided with the final day of the regular season. Let's do some quick hitters. Raptors in the Heat. Heat laying about 5 at home. I imagine Toronto sits a lot of people, and Miami can get the 6, the 7, or the 8. But again, who wants the 6 seed, right? Because you might take on Philly, who's won 16 in a row, if they win tonight, and you're getting Embiid back, or you could face LeBron. And Miami would prefer to take on Boston in the 2-7. But Washington goes to Orlando, and John Wall is doubtful. So same thing with Wall. We don't know who the 6, 7, or 8 is going to be in the East. And Milwaukee is saying all the right things, but Greek Freak is doubtful with the ankle injury, and Philly's laying 8 at home tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So let's start with the Raptors and Heat. It's been nothing but Toronto money. Remember, even when Toronto sits guys, when you talk about bench depth, I don't know if there's a team in the league that's had better bench depth than the Raptors this season. You know, they've gotten a ton off the pine all season long. And we've seen Miami tank, legitimately tank. When you get outscored 39-12 in a tight game going into the fourth quarter, in the fourth quarter at home against OKC, it tells me what the Heat are thinking. No surprise at all that we've seen heavy money come in on Toronto. Knicks, Cavs. You know, Cleveland gets the East number 3 seed with a win and a Philly loss. But they can scoreboard watch. You talked about the Sixers, and we'll talk about them in just a minute. If Philly breaks out big, do the Cavs take LeBron off the court? They might, and that has to be a concern. The point spread there has Cleveland laying 15 in the season finale, regular season finale for the Cavs, and the season finale for the Knicks.
Check. I don't think Hardaway's going to go or Cantor either in that one. So they should be able to blow them out and win that one with ease. Milwaukee and Philly. Philly wins. They're the 3 seed. They've won 15 in a row. They didn't cover last night. And Milwaukee is the 6 if they win. I don't know if you want the 6, because that means LeBron if you get it done. And they showed it on the broadcast last night. If Washington wins and Milwaukee and Miami lose, then Washington's the 6th seed. So, man, it's crazy in the East.
Yeah, sure. But when you talk about Philadelphia right now, the money has poured in on the Sixers in early betting action on Wednesday. Game opened 5.5. Now we're looking at 8s as we record. No surprise here if it goes higher with the red-hot Sixers trying to close out one of the more impressive runs that we've seen in the NBA this season. Let's give Philly credit doing what they've done without their low post stud in the middle.
Memphis and OKC. OKC already in. With a win, they can help themselves to move up. And several teams. I mean, here now it's crazy in the West with San Antonio, New Orleans, OKC. Look at Denver. Denver could miss the playoffs or get the 5 seed. So here you're talking about 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 with OKC and New Orleans and San Antonio here with our next couple games. OKC's laying a huge number. I imagine Memphis sits people. OKC should run them out.
Yeah, and they sure should. You know, the number, I'm looking at 17 as we record here early on Wednesday morning. And, you know, this is a meaningful game for OKC for 2 reasons. One, Russell Westbrook has the opportunity to average a triple-double. We'll talk about that. We turn the shot clock on in a few minutes. The other reason, home court advantage in the first round. The 4 seed is worth something in theory. They can get to the 4 with a win and a Blazers win. That's legitimate motivation. The Blazers, however, the Blazers pay after them. If Portland wins, and or they can get a 6 with a win, even if Portland loses. So, yeah, OKC's got something to play for. Are they going to bring it? Westbrook's going to bring it. Are they going to bring it to cover 17? That's a little rich, in my opinion.
Pelicans laying 3 at home against the Spurs. Both teams in, playing for seeding. You know, Popovich doesn't care about seeding. Full marks to the Pelicans. What a story. They lose Cousins. I buried them. Most people buried them. They still make the playoffs. Holiday's been terrific. Rondo playing well. Mirotic, huge acquisition. At 24 and 16 in the win the other day. They'd fall to the 8 with a loss. They can get as high as, I think they can get a 5 with a win, a 4 with a win. Who knows? They need some help, though. And the same thing with San Antonio, where I wouldn't want to see Golden State or Houston with a loss. So this is a huge game as well.
Sure. There's no shortage, and of course we're going in rotation order as we break these down. Let's talk Wizards and Magic. And of course, Washington as road chalk in this ball game. 2.5 up to 5, despite the concerns about John Wall. Wizards can still finish in the 6, 7, or 8, depending on how things play out in the Eastern Conference tonight.
And a big one at 7:30 on ESPN. Only 3 late games, but this one's huge. Utah and Portland for the 3 seed. Utah, 29-5 since January 24th. And the Blazers have been in free fall mode. I know they had Harkless and Davis out, and Lillard missed a couple games. So it comes down to this. And Portland, or Utah, can still get the 5 seed. And then they may have to take on OKC in the first round, too, if everything breaks right or wrong for Utah in this case. But they caught a break. They just beat Golden State by 40. So it is a back-to-back, but that game was over in the second quarter last night.
Exactly. The Jazz are in a very good situation for an end-of-the-season back-to-back duo. No one played more than 28 minutes last night. 13 different players got, 9 minutes or more of playing time. So they are certainly relatively fresh to be in this type of situation. And as you mentioned, Portland can't finish lower than number 4. They will have home court in the first round. They'll get a home game in their next game after this one. Utah falls to number 5 with a loss and an OKC win if they lose and the Thunder win. But man, this is legitimate insanity. And if you're trying to handicap these games based on seeding, I'm telling you, we've talked a lot about seeding scenarios. In my experience, the motivation to get a better seed isn't quite what we might think it would be. A lot of times, game number 82 in the regular season is just that. It's a garbage fest. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the games.